Hey.
1 second. Evening, Salisbury. Is everyone well? Yes. Good. Right, this is the first time I've done stand-up, so before I rock this gig, let me just say that for the next 15 minutes I shall essentially be chatting away to you. If at any point you do feel the desire to laugh, please do. Just let it all out, like after a night at the bowling house, or just when you're turning 50 and you let yourself go. So, and also remember that this gig is free, so there will be no refunds. So if your bar of expectation is about here or here, I suggest taking the bar of expectation and slamming it into the ground, because that's about where you want to be. So I've recently turned 18, which means I've been reflecting on my childhood a lot recently, and I've begun to realise there's quite a difference between the childhood of today and the childhood of my era. So, for example, while I was growing up on the PS1, Monopoly, moaning about people cheating at Monopoly, most of this generation seem to have iPads, iPods, iPhones, Blackberries, all inspired by iRobot and by Bina. And you can tell this change even in the world of hip-hop. For example, it's not that funny. Like, back in the old days, you get a lot of people trying to be street, whereas now we have a lot of people who are street, who are called chavs. And back in these days, you might get a conversation like this if you were to say a 90s guy ran into a guy from today. You get a lot of the old 90s guy, cap on backwards, because that was cool. And then they'd be saying, they'd have an earring in one ear, the non-gay ear, I don't know which one that is. And they'll be like, yo man, what you doing, brother? And of course, while they'll be doing this, they'll be doing raving with the air. So it'd be more like, yo man, what you doing, brother? It kind of reminds me of all this dubstep that's going around recently, which is a bit like if you let someone loose with a distorted bass guitar in a junkyard. It sounds a bit like wob, 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 like a trout on speed. Wob, 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 wob. And he'd run into someone in this era going, yo man, what's up? And of course, like with the formation of chavhood, there seems to be an evolution of class, because they've now got their cap on the right way round. They squat a lot, because they do a lot of exercise now, with all this parkour and shoplifting. And then you'll get them down here like this, usually with one earphone in the ear, listening to your wob, 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 wob. And they'll be down there and they'll say nothing much, because with the evolution of chavhood, they seem to have rationed their dialogue as well. And then the other guy from the 90s, who of course will be wanting to create more conversation, so he'll come up and he'll be like, oh, is that it? So he'll go, have you got the new Will Smith CD, brother? Or some other hip-hop from the 90s, which is a bit more like, And then, of course, he'll be sitting down there, he'll go, nah, mate. And that's all he'll say. And then they'll be like, oh, so what are you doing? And most of them these days will be eyes down. They won't lift their head, they'll just lift it slightly, look left to right, as if they're looking for cops. And then they'll go, just playing Angry Birds, mate. Trying to bag the third star. And then they'll realise what they've done. They'll get up and they'll suddenly go, they'll revert 10 years. And so they go, nah man, I'm importing green stash, exporting green cash, innit? And then the other guy, who doesn't get the lingo, will go up to him and go, all paranoid. Ah, yeah. The petit pois business is totally booming, man. Anyway, what we have to remember is that the 90s lot grew up in a much different world to what we grew up in. No, I am the 90s lot, so I don't know about my own. We grew up on going down the local park, and you know the spring things that you get on, and they go, eek, eek, eek. You'd be on those for hours until your dad got involved. He'd walk from the other side of the park and go, come on son, get off, it's my go. Get on, because of his astronomical weight. And then he'd get out, son, get your mother. And she'll come to the rescue for him. So, yeah, that's childhood. Yeah. And then you, so yeah, I've also passed my driving test recently. Yeah. That means I can no longer drive. I can't afford it. And basically, when I was driving out recently, I think all learner drivers do this. They get up to a junction in a residential place, it's all quite quiet. They'll look left. Once they're happy it's safe, they'll look right. And then your driving instructor's got the dual controls and you love him for that, so you don't over-rev at a zebra crossing and knock over a pram. He looks over and he goes, check your mirrors. So you check your mirrors, and by that time it's been a minute, so you've got to check left again. And he's cracked out a copy of Paradise Lost and a cup of tea, because you're going to be there for a while. And then eventually, once he's finished his cup of tea and you've gone through it like an arcade machine, getting faster and faster and faster, like this, whizzing your hair back and forth like the sun, the guy will slam his hand on the dashboard. You'll nipple face the clutch control and rev out like a madman to the other side of the road in front of a Vauxhall Astra with a Labrador hanging out the window. You'll get to the other side, and after your near-death experience, you'll be quite on edge, worried, looking forwards. And then you try and find some sanity in the driving instructor next to you. You look over, he's in hysterics, dying of laughter. That is my experience of driving. And here's a quick joke to keep you on your toes. It goes a little bit like this. What do Europe and a frying pan have in common?
Dunno.
They've both got grease at the bottom of it. Thank you. Yeah. Anyways, apart from nearly dying in my driving test and recollecting my childhood, nothing's really happened recently because of exam season, and of course signing up to open mic, which I'm still trying to work out why I did it. And yeah, so the only other thing going on is my love life. Yeah, I've recently got, well not recently, but I've had a girlfriend for a while now, and I just wanted to dedicate the last bit of this to her. It's a poem, and I won't embarrass her, but her name sounds a bit like Lemony Lip. You might know her. It goes a bit like this, it goes, how do I measure the love I have for you? I thought while I'd been watching a sparrow sipping dew. And as I pondered thoughtfully, I gave my head a rub, and then I thought I saw it, I'm going to the pub. Alright, thank you very much.